We got Morehead State graduate forward center Dieonte Miles, second season with the program. Dieonte, just tell us about what your expectations are and the excitement level going into this upcoming season.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for this upcoming season. I mean, we're getting a lot of new guys, as Coach said, getting a lot of new players coming in, new faces. Last year's team we had a good run. It was, we tied the OVC regular season, won the OVC championship, went on to the NCAA tournament. Had a hard-fought game against Illinois. I mean, coming off a season like that, I'm really excited to see what we have coming up. Under Coach Maddox now, who's had some experience here as a coach. He knows the culture, he knows fan base, knows everything about Morehead State. So I mean, just seeing how he's going to lead us this year and him doing a good job stepping into his new role. I mean, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to be here for it.
Let me ask you before we talk about this year. Let me ask you about last year. Then just that run and what your team did in March, and just it really came together last season.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the biggest thing that we had as a team last year is that although we had players like Andrew Thelwell and Riley Minix and Jordan Lathan, people that, they've been here for a while, they had some experience. I think us being able to come together as a team and just go through one common goal. We had one common goal as a team that was to win the OVC, and I feel like we stuck with it even through our losses. I mean, we never splintered apart. Even if we felt like we were at times splitting apart, we would come together as a team. We talk about it. We had some hard conversations as a team. So I mean, and sometimes I feel like it's needed when everybody's trying to reach a common goal. So I mean, us just, being able to stick together through any and everything, even going to Alabama, going to Purdue, playing against a hostile environment, even if we lost the game, I felt like we were the more together team that night. So, I mean, I feel like that's what we prided ourselves on a lot, was being the most together team. And I feel like that's the culture that Morehead State has. We're always going to stick together no matter what. So, I mean, I think that went a long way in our success last season.
Do you like those big games like that? And we got Louisville, Cincinnati, some teams like that on the schedule this year.
Yeah, so I like playing in those type of environments. I was 4 years I played in those type of environments before coming here. So I mean, it's nothing new to me. It's something that's definitely a challenge though. I mean, it's I was limited on playing in some of those games, but I mean, just the experience upon it, seeing how important, how big, and how much you can learn from being in an environment like that is something that's just is important to a team. And I mean, I feel like me, and then I'm really looking. I have the Cincinnati game circled. 4-0 against them, so it's like I had that game circled on the calendar, and I feel like I want to go 5-0. So it's like those type of games. It gets you prepared for any and everything. It teaches you you're playing against a big time school, and it's like it prepares you for a lot. Like Coach said earlier, it's like we're gonna get hit in the mouth at some point. It's like it's all about our response to it. That's I feel like those type of games teaches you about response to any and everything.
I know you heard what your coach said. He said he not only wanted you, he needed you on this team. So talk about change coaches. Now you're playing for Coach Mannix and just that and how he valued you being on this team.
Yeah, so I mean, it was being under somebody like Coach P, who brought me into Morehead State, got me around the culture for a year, and everything else, had all this trust in me. He named me captain of the ball screen defense, and that's where it came from. And that's what we kind of pride myself. That's what I pride myself on. It's something that he instilled in me. But him being a very good coach, I knew that the opportunity for him was going to come to where he was going to get a bigger job, or a different job that was better for him and his family. Like Coach said earlier, like I know Coach Maddox very well. He was recruiting me throughout high school and all, and when he was here and all this and that. So I mean, we kept a good relationship there. But I mean, him getting the job, I just knew that like, man, like I could. That's somebody. He's no different, Coach P. I mean, they're both two really really good coaches, and I mean, I always want to play with somebody. He has so much trust into me, and it was like we sat over the phone. We talked about my role this year and the role he wants me to play, and I felt like it was something that I needed to be a part of. I loved the group of guys that I played with last year, even the ones that didn't really see the floor that much. They were coming back as the core of the team, and I mean, I felt like I wanted to be with those guys. I feel like when my game and the way that I like to play, I thrive in an environment where I'm comfortable. When I feel like I'm comfortable, that's when I'm at my best. And I got a coach that, it gives me a lot of confidence that I can let out my abilities. I feel like that takes my game to a whole nother level. When I'm in an environment where I feel comfortable, like Morehead States, I was very, very comfortable, which allowed me to play with a lot more freedom, which allowed me to play with a lot more confidence. And I feel like that was the most important thing that I got when sitting down with Coach Maddox was that he said he said it better. He needed me, he wanted me, but he also needed me. And I felt like, having telling a player that they're needed versus like that they're wanted is a very big difference whenever you're sitting down and figuring out what you're trying to do.
Where do you think you've made the most improvement in your game, and like what's one area you still want to work on to get even better?
Well, so the biggest thing I feel like I'm improving on right now is my back to the basket, being a threat on offense. I get in there every day and work on my moves in the post. Working on the jump hook. Me being very very athletic, me being 7 foot tall and very very athletic, very mobile. Not a lot of 7 footers that can run the floor like I can and be as mobile as I can, especially in this league. So it's like, being able to keep and then my IQ obviously coming from a big time school like Xavier, they taught me a lot, and it was like I improved a lot there. But now, coming here, it's like being able to take my defense, which is what I pride myself on. That's the most important thing of my part of my game that I love to do. Every day in practice, I can't wait to get on the defensive end. So it's like that's just where I feel like that's where my talents is a lot. But the biggest thing that I've improved on, I say my offensive game, my passing out of the post. Being able to hit guys cutting to the basket, hit guys spotting up from threes on a double team. Like I feel like that's something that's really come along and that I'm utilizing a lot more. And something I feel like I need to work on my rebounding. I felt like I could average a lot more rebounds than what I did even last year. That's a big part of the game. I can play as good as defense as I want to play, but if I don't come up with the rebound, catching with 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 feet, like our coach prides us, our whole team on, then it's not. Then there's defense doesn't matter at that point. We got to get the possession of the ball. We got to have a good defensive stop and be able to retain the rebound. So I feel like that's something that I need to continue to improve on, putting myself in the best positions to get the rebounds, not just even on the defensive end, but on the offensive end as well. Crashing the grass relentlessly, like Coach prides us on. Putting myself in position, defeating the box out, not running the guys' backs, stuff like that. So I feel like that's something that could be a very much improvement in my game. And then and then on offense, just continue to get in the post, just continue to be patient. Maybe shooting a mid-range shot here and there, being able to be respectable from not just inside the post, but even outside. But just constantly getting better. And that's just one thing that I feel like within all areas is constantly getting better would be something that I pride myself on.
Last question for you then. We talked about you globally. What's one thing that this Morehead team needs to do to put yourself in position to win a championship this year?
In my opinion, I think it's the same thing that I would like to say is what makes this program the best is that we just need to stick together as a team. We're gonna have bad times. We're gonna miss a lot of shots. We're gonna get hit in the mouth. There's gonna be games we're gonna be down 10, 15 points. And it's like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna respond to that? I feel like our response is gonna be the biggest thing. I feel like our togetherness is gonna be the biggest thing. We have so much offensive power on this team that it's everyone can score at a high level. It's like, what are we going to do on the defensive end? Can everybody sit down and guard for 30 seconds, get an offensive rebound, get a stop on defense, go down, outwork teams, stay together, be the most together team, be the most disciplined team every single night? I feel like if we answer that challenge, then it's going to go a long way because that's how it was last year. We had a lot of scoring last year. We had player of the year Riley Minix. I don't think we're going to have Riley Minix this year, but we don't. Well, I feel like, in my opinion, we don't need somebody like him. We just need to be the most together team, and we need to be the tougher team every single night on the floor. And I feel like as long as we do that, as long as we buy into our defense, as long as we buy into our process that we have, I feel like we're going to be special. We're going to hang another banner.
Dieonte, the good words there. Great job. Thanks so much for joining us, and just best of luck to your team this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.